Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this post cycling full body yoga stretch. The only prop you're going to need is a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you may have a bathrobe tie or a dog leash or a long towel. So, whatever you have handy around the house, we'll use this a little bit later. So, you can grab that now and then set it off to the side. We're going to begin in a kneeling pose. So, come to hands and knees first, right? So just regular old hands and knees, tuck those toes underneath, right? So you're really on the balls of the feet. And then just see already if you feel a stretch here. And if you do, great, you can stay here. But if you want to increase it, I'm gonna have you walk your hands towards your knees, right? And all the way until maybe you can sit atop your heels with your hands resting on your thighs, your shoulders gently back and down. If this is too intense for your feet, of course, walk your hands back forward. But if you're okay here, just breathe. If your knees are bothering you at all, I need you to come out. And then notice where you're pressing in the balls of the feet. I notice for me personally, it's kind of near the big toe. So go ahead, if that's you as well, roll the heels gently away from your body. So you're stretching through the middle toes and then all the way through the pinky toes. So you're getting equal stretch underneath all of your toes there. And then gently work your way back, pulling those heels in so you've gone back to the center in the midline. So one more breath there. Great. And then you're going to walk your hands forward. So you're releasing those toes by untucking them, laying the tops of the feet on the mat. Just pause there for a moment, see how that feels. We're going to do the opposite now, right? And we're going to get into the ankles and the shins and maybe even the quads. So let's go ahead and walk your hands back to your knees. And maybe now sit on your heels with the toes extended there and see how that feels. If that's too intense, you know what to do. Just walk your hands forward and take some of the pressure out. No big deal. But if you're okay here, work on the nice posture while you're stretching through the fronts of your ankles and the shins a little bit. And if you're up for it and you want to get into the quads, we're going to walk our hands back. Maybe it's an inch, maybe it's 2 inches. Everyone's different. Just until you feel a gentle pulling through the fronts of the quads, knees down still on the floor. If your knees are bothering you, you shouldn't be here. We'll do a different stretch. Maybe you do a standing quad stretch. So listen to your body, coming back only as far as the legs say they can go, right? No judgment. Big deep breaths. We'll take one more breath here. And then gently walking your hands forward. Take your time to get there. All right, we're going to kick the legs off to the side and sit back down for a moment. You're going to go ahead and grab your strap and you're going to lay down. As you're laying down, I just wanted to give you another tip. We're not going to do it together, but when I get off my bike, I love to use the golf ball on the foot, right? So that's just a tip that's really nice to give the bottom of the foot a good massage. If you've got a golf ball laying around the house, gently just roll your foot on that golf ball on each foot. So nice. Okay, you should be laying down by now while I was chit chatting. So while you're laying down, you're going to bend both knees, feet hip distance apart, and make sure your spine is tall. Even though we're not upright, right, horizontal instead of vertical, we could still feel the length in the spine. And then from there, we're just going to pull the right knee into the chest and grab your strap, whatever you've got, wrap it around the bottom of the right foot, extending the right foot to the sky. Oh, hello, cat. Okay. So we're going to feel that the right femur bone's down the socket, and then the right heel is pushing up to the sky, and your toes are going to bend towards your shin, right? And you can actually use your hands to gently pull the ball of the foot down so your toes come closer to your shin. Relax your shoulders and breathe here. And then again, notice as your shoulders are soft in the mat, where you're pulling on the foot and the toes, especially. Is it more the big toe that pulls or the pinky toe? And whichever, I want you to make them even. So you're pulling gently through both sets of toes and breathing here. Oh, Shadows has decided to join us. Hello, Shadow. All right, breathing into that calf. Now, if you're up for getting into the hamstring a little bit deeper, pull the foot from the hip joint closer. So your whole legs comes closer to your chest. Shoulders still relaxed. Eyes are soft, jaw is soft, and breathe there into the entire back of the right leg. All right, friends, let your leg come out of the stretch a little bit. I want you to go ahead and circle your ankle. So you don't need your strap anymore. You're just going to circle that ankle and then go ahead and circle it the other direction. Great. And now bend that right knee, but take the right ankle to the left knee. So you're opening your hip, kind of a reclining pigeon pose or a figure four stretch, sometimes they're called. So the right thigh falls away from you. See how that feels in your right hip. And if it feels fine, you can handle more. Pull your left knee in closer to your chest. Grab hold of the back of the thighs with your hands. And if you can't reach the thigh, grab your strap and use that instead. Make sure your neck is long, tailbone into the ground, and gently pulling this left knee in towards your heart. If you have knee issues, please flex those feet to protect the joints. And then just breathe into that tight spot wherever it is. Let's take one more breath there, everyone. Great job. Now releasing the foot. The left foot comes to the ground. We'll go ahead and uncross the right foot so it's on the ground as well, and take a breath. Make sure your spine is tall on the mat. And then when you're ready, you're going to pull in the left knee and take the strap around the bottom of the left foot. So we're going to do the same series on the other leg. The strap is here to release your shoulders into the mat. Sure, some people can reach their foot, but there's a danger of pulling apart and combating good posture, right? So I want you to really sink your shoulders into the earth and then grab your strap. Right? Push the heel up, draw the toes down, and you can use your hands to gently guide the ball of the foot down toward your face, stretching through the calf mostly here, right? You'll get into the hamstring definitely. I want you to focus on calf right now. Pinky and big toe equally pulling. And then to increase the hamstring stretch from the hip joint, draw the whole leg closer to your chest. But you're not going to do that, right? If you were already at your max, you're always observing the needs of your body, tuning into muscles, tendons, joints, bones. We're trying to leave our ego mind out for stretching, and we're just breathing into the sensation. One more giant breath on this side. Good. And now let your leg come out of the stretch slightly so that you can do your ankle circles. You can remove your strap and just circle that ankle. And then circle the other way. All right, it's time to pigeon. So you're going to bend this knee that's in the air, open the hip joint so the ankle comes to the opposite knee. See how that feels? The thigh falls away from you on that left side, and then pull your right knee in, wrapping the back of the thigh. Again, if you're having knee sensitivity, flex your feet. Even if you're not, you can flex the feet. It's up to you. You can play with that sensation, pulling the right knee into your heart to increase that hip stretch. Right, so getting into, where are we getting into? The glute, hamstring, little inner thigh, even piriformis. Really depends on your muscle and where you need that flexibility in your joints too. So everyone's different. Just breathe into the tightness. One more giant breath. All right, gang, very gently release, letting the right foot come to the ground, uncrossing, letting the left foot come to the ground. Pull both knees into your chest, grab hold of the backs of your thighs or the fronts of your shins, and just rock gently left to right, side to side, massaging your low back. And then we'll do one more little IT band stretch before we move on to more upper body things. So we're gonna go ahead and take the feet back down to the mat. Walk the mat distance apart, wider than your hips. And then we're gonna windshield wiper a couple times with the legs. So you're gonna let both knees fall to one side. Once they get to that side, go up and over to the other side. So just about 3 times here. Windshield wipering, any kinks out, that low back. And then once you finish that third time, we're gonna go ahead and hold on one side. So whichever side is up to you. And then just check on that IT band, right? So whichever side you dip down toward would be the top leg, you'd feel it more so. If your knee bothers you, you shouldn't be here. You should just come back up and rest your knees toward each other instead. All right, friends, take those knees back up and then go hold the other side of your windshield wipers. Breathing here. If you have really healthy knees, you think you could handle more, you can always take the bottom foot on top of the top thigh and add a little bit more oomph, right? That weight will stretch it a little deeper, but you don't have to, right? It's just an option. There's a gentle twist in the midsection, but mostly getting into the IT band. And then when you're ready, next inhale takes your knees back up to the sky. Good job. All right. And then from here, one more time, pulling knees into chest, giving yourself a little squeeze. And then you can either gently roll to your side and push up to seated or rock lengthwise up and down. I'm going to rock lengthwise because I have a kitty here in my way. So I'm going to rock 2 or 3 times just to come up to sit. Yes, kitty. And then once you come up to sit, we're going to go ahead and extend the legs out. I'm going to come face you instead of being this way on my mat. Right, so legs are extended out. And then from there, I want you to bend one knee. So one knee bends and opens at the hip joint. And then the other leg comes out to about 45 degrees. Okay, so don't go more than 45 if you've got back issues. All right, so here we are. We're sitting nice and tall, right? Our shoulders are soft, our sitting bones are grounded, our low ribs tuck into the body just slightly to make sure core is engaged. You feel really tall. And then you're gonna walk forward with your hands. And so what I want our focus more so is in this outstretched leg, right? So feel it in the inner thigh. You may also feel it in the back and hips slightly, but try and focus on the inner thigh, breathing deeply. And then from there, if you can handle more, you're welcome to round your spine and drop a little deeper, but your body will tell you, not your ego, right? Walk your hands back up, everyone. And then before we leave here, we're gonna go ahead and add a side lean to get into our ribs. So whichever leg is straight, that same hand just rests outside the body and the hip. The opposite arm will come up. So bent knee arm comes up, both shoulders down though, and you're gonna go ahead and side lean toward the straight leg side, spreading through the rib cage, right? And opening up the waist. Go ahead and make a gentle fist with the top hand and rotate your wrist in circles. And now reverse the circles, go the other direction. All right, we'll pause the wrist circles, releasing the fist, and then coming up and over, back to seated. Take a breath here. Great. We're going to switch sides. You ready? Extend your bent leg. Bend your extended leg. Perfect. And then from here, just checking on your spine always, making sure you feel really tall and you've got nice deep breath. Then we're just walking forward, getting into that straight leg, inner thigh. Just breathing here. If you feel like you can round, go ahead and round your spine, drop your head, letting all the tension drain out of your neck. All right, guys, walk yourself gently back up to seated, lifting that heart, relaxing those shoulders. Perfect. We'll come into our side lean. So we're going to lift the bent knee arm up to the sky and just gently lean over. So really getting nice space in the intercostal muscles between the ribs, which will help make more room for our breath in our lungs, right? So let's make that gentle fist and just circle the wrists. Make sure your wrists also get some TLC. And circle other direction with that wrist. Relaxing the wrist now, gently opening the hand, and then come on up and over, taking a breath. Perfect. We're going to bend now that straight leg in so you're sitting cross-legged in a way that's comfortable for you. You can always be sitting on a pillow or blanket if you need, okay? Especially if you feel like you're rounded and hunched and it's hard to sit up tall, definitely use a bolster or blanket. So once we're seated up tall, I want you to take your hands behind your back and interlace your fingers. So keep some soft elbows here. I don't want you to lock your elbows. Draw your shoulder blades back and down, right? Make sure you don't lose your core too. So pull those ribs down and in, and then gently take the hands away from your back, getting a good shoulder stretch. And just focus on your breath, right? You're breathing deep. Every inhale, you feel that stretch from armpit to armpit across the front of your chest. One more breath. Perfect. And then releasing there. Nice job. We're going to gently roll those shoulders maybe 3 times. So go ahead and take them forward, up, back, and down. And then relax those shoulders. Perfect. Almost done. We're going to switch the leg position now. So if you've got one of them in front, you're going to switch it and make that the one that's behind. All right, so we're evening out our hips, balancing our body composition. All right, so here we are. We're sitting nice and tall. We're going to make sure our shoulders are soft and our neck is tall and our chin is parallel to the ground. We'll go ahead and drop one ear to one shoulder. And just check to see, how is that side of your neck feeling in the stretch? If it's really tight, you're just going to stay here and breathe into it. If you feel you can handle more, you can take your opposite arm away from you, maybe 45-degree angle. See how that feels. If you need more, make a stop sign with that hand, lifting the fingers toward the ceiling, which you will feel in that forearm, maybe even in the bicep. All right, you're going to release that hand, and that hand comes back to your knee or leg. And then everyone lift your head back on top of your spine. Take a breath. Good job. We're going to do the other side. So neck is tall as usual, right? Core is there. Bending the other ear down to the shoulder. Both shoulders are dropping. Just sit in the stretch for a moment. And then if you feel like you can handle more, the opposite arm will come away. And that might be enough. Or you can lift those fingers to the ceiling as if you're about to make a stop sign. With the hand, breathe deep. Release that hand back to the body. And then lifting the head back on top of the spine. And last neck stretch here, everyone. You're going to drop your chin to your chest. The shoulders are soft, jaw is soft. One more breath as the head is just dipping forward. And on the inhale, lifting your head back on top of your spine. Beautiful job. So if you are in a rush, you've got to get going. I understand. I'll see you next time. But if you can indulge yourself just for one more minute, we're going to end with a restorative posture, which is also really good for the legs, which is legs up the wall pose. You don't have to have a wall. You can have a chair if you don't have a leg have a wall near you. I'm sure you got a leg near you. So you're going to switch and whichever you're using a chair or the wall, you're sitting next to it sideways. You're just gonna lean back and swing the legs up, whether it's on your chair or your wall. Situate yourself when you get there. Make sure your spine feels really tall, and you're just letting your legs lay on the wall here. It shouldn't feel like you have to hold them. So if it does feel like you have to hold them up there, oh, sorry, I scared the kitty. Then you're gonna go ahead and maybe move your seat away from the wall a little bit more. Whatever you need to do. And we're just gonna let the fluid come back down, recirculate, and breathe here. If you want to a full inversion, you could throw a pillow under your hips and be completely inverted. Not going to stay long, just going to give ourselves a little extra TLC before moving on with the day or the evening. All right, friends, if you are enjoying this and you have the time, please stay here. You can stay here up to 15 minutes if you wanted to. But if you do want to move out of our practice, we'll go ahead and bend the knees and gently roll over to our side and push our way to seated. Okay. Just check to see how you're feeling. Thank you for joining me for this post cycling stretch. Until next time, namaste.